The doll arrived without a sender. It was waiting on the front step when Adrian Cole opened the door on Christmas Eve, half buried beneath fresh snow. There were no footprints leading to it, no tire marks on the road, only a rectangular parcel wrapped in brown paper, tied with a faded red ribbon. Adrian looked past the gate toward the empty street. Snow fell beneath the yellow glow of the lamps, softening every rooftop and parked car. The storm had already buried the road once that afternoon. No delivery driver would have attempted it now. From inside the house, his 8-year-old daughter called out, "Dad, who is it?" No one. He carried the parcel into the hallway. Something inside shifted. Not enough to sound alive. Just the faint scrape of something hard moving against cardboard. A small card had been pushed beneath the ribbon. The message was written in dark blue ink. "For the daughter who should have been mine." Adrian read it twice. Then he turned the card over. Nothing. No name, no address, no explanation. Lily appeared at the end of the hallway in red pajamas, her hair still damp from the bath. "Is that for me?" Adrian should have thrown it away. Years later, that was the part he repeated most often. He should never have allowed her to open it. But it was Christmas Eve. Lily had already lost enough. Her mother, Claire, had died 2 years earlier, and Adrian had spent every Christmas since trying to make the house feel less empty. So he placed the parcel beneath the tree. "One early present," he said. Lily tore through the paper. Inside was an antique porcelain doll. It wore a deep red dress with black stitching around the collar. Its pale hands rested neatly in its lap. Thin brown curls framed a face that had been painted with almost unnatural care. Its glass eyes were green, the same shade as Claire's. Around the doll's neck hung a small silver nameplate, Mary Gloria. Lily stared at it. Then she smiled. "She looks like Mum." Adrian felt the room grow colder. "She doesn't," he said too quickly. Lily lifted the doll from the box and pressed it against her chest. From somewhere inside it came a delicate metallic sound. A music box. It played the first few notes of Silent Night, but the melody was wrong. Each note arrived slightly too late, as though someone were playing the carol while listening to another version from a distant room. Lily tilted her head. "Why is it so slow?" Adrian found a small key beneath the doll's dress. He turned it until the mechanism stopped. The music ended. At least he thought it did. That night, after Lily had gone to bed, Adrian heard the melody again, one note at a time, uneven, coming from the upstairs landing. He found Mary Gloria sitting outside Lily's bedroom. Adrian was certain Lily carried it into bed. He picked it up. The porcelain felt warm. The next morning, Lily was already downstairs when Adrian entered the kitchen. Mary Gloria sat opposite her at the table. Lily had placed a small plastic cup in front of the doll. "What are you doing?" "Having breakfast." "With the doll?" Lily looked confused. She said she was hungry. Adrian stopped pouring coffee. "What did you say?" Lily lowered her voice. "She only talks when you leave." Adrian forced a laugh. "Dolls don't talk. This one does." He crouched beside her. "What does she say?" Lily glanced toward Mary Gloria. "She wants me to call her mother." The doll's head was turned slightly toward them. Adrian remembered placing it straight. He took Mary Gloria upstairs and locked her inside the linen cupboard. Lily cried for nearly an hour. By lunchtime, the cupboard was still locked, but the doll was sitting on Lily's bed. The linen cupboard was empty. That evening, Adrian checked the security cameras. There was one camera above the stairs and another facing the upstairs hallway. Neither showed Lily leaving her room. At 11:42 p.m., the hallway camera flickered. For 7 seconds, the image filled with static. When it returned, Mary Gloria was sitting outside Lily's door. On the 6th, he noticed something else. Beneath the static, barely audible, a woman whispered, "Not Adrian." He turned up the volume. The voice repeated itself. "Not Adrian, Daddy." It sounded like Claire. Adrian unplugged the camera. Over the next 2 days, the family photographs began to change. The first was a picture from Lily's 4th birthday. Claire had been standing behind her, both hands resting on Lily's shoulders. Now, Mary Gloria stood there instead. The doll's porcelain hands rested in exactly the same position. Adrian removed the photograph from its frame. The original image was gone. There was no editing, no torn paper, and no second photograph underneath. In another picture, taken at the beach, Mary Gloria appeared beside Lily's towel. In their wedding photograph, the doll was visible through the church doors. Then Adrian found a photograph he had never seen before. It showed Lily asleep in her bedroom. Mary Gloria stood beside the bed. Behind the doll was a woman in a red dress. Her face had been scratched away. Adrian gathered every photograph in the house and carried them to the fireplace. As the flames consumed them, the music box Carol began playing upstairs, one note too slowly. He found Lily standing in front of the bathroom mirror. Mary Gloria was in her arms. "What did you do?" Lily asked. Lily stepped back. "She says you're trying to erase her." "Give it to me." "She says you erased Mom too." Adrian froze. Lily's expression changed. For a moment she did not look frightened. She looked angry. "She says Mom didn't have to die." The bathroom light went out. In the darkness, the doll whispered clearly enough for both of them to hear. "You let her." Adrian ripped Mary Gloria from Lily's hands and threw it into the bathtub. When the light returned, the doll was smiling. At midnight, every present beneath the Christmas tree opened at once. The paper did not tear. The ribbons simply loosened, sliding onto the floor as though invisible hands were unwrapping each gift. Inside every box was a piece of red fabric, a sleeve, a lace collar, a child-sized glove, a long strip of stained cloth. Together they formed the same dress worn by the faceless woman in the photograph. Lily stood at the bottom of the stairs. Mary Gloria was beside her. "Mother wants her dress back," Lily said. Adrian grabbed the doll and carried it into the garage. He placed it inside a metal toolbox, secured the lid with 2 padlocks, and pushed the box beneath a workbench. Then he took Lily into his bedroom and locked the door. For 20 minutes there was silence. Then the music started inside the room. Mary Gloria sat on Claire's side of the bed. The metal toolbox could still be heard rattling in the garage below. Something was trapped inside it, something that wanted them to believe the doll was still there. Adrian waited until Lily fell asleep. Then he carried Mary Gloria downstairs and searched every seam in its dress. Beneath the fabric he found a narrow opening in the porcelain body. Inside were folded shipping labels, dozens of them. The oldest was dated December 24th, 1928. Each label carried a different family name, different towns, different countries, but the recipient was always described in the same way: a grieving father, a widowed mother, a family who had recently lost someone. Adrian searched the names online. The results followed the same pattern. A child disappeared shortly after Christmas, a house fire, an unexplained accident, a family that moved without leaving an address. In one newspaper archive, he found a photograph of Mary Gloria sitting beside a girl who had vanished in 1956. The accompanying article quoted the girl's father: "She promised to bring my wife back." Adrian looked toward the stairs. Lily was no longer in bed. He found her in the living room. The pieces of the red dress had been arranged around her in a perfect circle. Mary Gloria sat beneath the tree. Claire stood beside it. Adrian knew immediately that it was not her. She looked exactly as she had on the morning before the accident. The gray sweater, the loose hair, the tiny scar beneath her chin. But she was smiling too much. "Adrian," she said. Her voice broke him before he could stop it. He took one step forward. Claire opened her arms. "I've been waiting." Lily stared at her mother. "Mum?" The figure looked down at her. "No, darling, not yet." Mary Gloria's head turned toward Adrian. Claire's voice came from the doll's mouth. "She can go where I was. I can come home." Adrian understood the bargain. Lily's life for Claire's return. For one terrible second he imagined accepting it, because the thing had chosen Claire's voice perfectly. It knew the exact way she said his name. It knew how she tucked her hair behind her left ear when she was nervous. It knew the words she had whispered to him in the hospital. Then Adrian noticed the inconsistency. Claire always wore her wedding ring on a chain after Lily was born, because her fingers had swollen. The figure wore it on her hand. It knew the photographs. It knew the recordings. But it did not know the private details correctly. "You're not Claire," Adrian said. The woman's smile disappeared. The music box carol began playing from every room at once. Lily covered her ears. The windows rattled. The red fabric lifted from the floor and twisted through the air like strips of skin. The false Claire rushed toward them. Adrian grabbed Mary Gloria and threw the doll into the fireplace. The porcelain cracked as the flames surrounded it. A scream burst from the chimney. Not one voice, hundreds. Children, parents, and grieving spouses cried out together. The false Claire folded inward as though she had been made of wet paper. Then the fire went black. When Adrian opened his eyes, the living room was silent. Mary Gloria was gone. Only a small piece of porcelain remained among the ashes. Lily stood beside him. A woman's voice whispered from somewhere behind her. Lily turned toward the darkness. Adrian tried to pull her away, but she resisted. Then Lily began to speak. "My mum hated cinnamon." The whisper stopped. She sang the wrong words to songs. The room grew colder. "She cut my sandwiches into stars, but one point was always missing." A crack appeared in the wall above the fireplace. "She called me Little Bear when I was sick." Something moved inside the chimney. Lily raised her voice. "And she never asked me to call her mother." The house shook. A dark shape shot upward through the chimney, carrying the final notes of the music box with it. Then everything stopped. By dawn, the storm had passed. Adrian searched the house, the garage, and the snow around the property. There was no sign of Mary Gloria. The photographs had returned to normal. The shipping labels had turned to blank paper. Police found no evidence of an intruder. The security recordings contained only static. Adrian and Lily left the house that morning. They never spent another Christmas there. 3 months later, the property was sold to another family. The new owners reported nothing unusual until the following December. On Christmas Eve, their youngest child complained that someone was singing inside the chimney. The father removed the fireplace grate and shone a torch into the darkness. Then a child's voice answered from somewhere above him. Next Christmas, then. The family left before sunrise. Mary Gloria was never recovered. But every year on December 24th, Adrian still received an envelope without a return address. Each one contained a photograph of Lily. In the first, she was walking to school. In the next, she was asleep on a train. In the most recent photograph, Lily was standing beside Adrian. Neither of them remembered the picture being taken. Behind them, almost hidden in the reflection of a shop window, stood a woman in a red dress, and in her arms was a porcelain doll with green glass eyes, the same color as Claire's.